Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Suyou, Moton's quote-unquote most versatile hero. That's their words, not mine. My opinion, he's an average fighter and a high-ranking sword assassin. But today we're not here to mention his gameplay. Today we're going to see how well he ranks on a tier list, lore-wise, how powerful is he compared to other heroes, especially from his companions in the Cadia Riverlands, such as Yin, Dragon, Zilong, Ling, etc. And while comparing Suyou to those heroes, we won't be going too much into those heroes since all of them will have their own videos. Looking extra forward to that Zilong versus Ling video dropping soon, so subscribe to that. In my personal opinion, I think Zilong is a little bit stronger, but I'll give you the feats to back it up. Now, when we look at Suyou, we see that he's one of the hardest heroes to scale. For one, he's designed after cultivators, and for those of you who don't know what cultivators is, you can check it out on my second YouTube channel, Raikai for Fun. While that page is not that active right now, I do have a video explaining what are cultivators. Now back to Suyou. As I said, he's designed after cultivators and his powers were similar. For one, he inherited a mask and a secret blade from his teacher, the Immortal, and with this inheritance he inherited the power of the immortal deity Neo. Now, with these abilities, he has, I assume, all of the cultivator starter pack, but we will mainly be sticking to what we saw in his trailer. Now, before I said Suyou was tricky, what do I mean by this? To power scale Suyou, we have to power scale how strong he is in the astral world. Because one, I am not sure if his abilities take place in a physical world, but we will give him that. First, we'll look at how strong he is in the astral world. For one, Suyou fights spirits, as demonic spirit called Malice. Now, I'm not sure if it's just one entity or all of these spirits are just called demon Malice spirits. However, what we do see in his trailer is one, this Malice is approaching the town, has actual real physical effects on the real world. And we saw Suyou go on a ritual altar where he performs a dance while he equips his mask, and there he enters the astral plane, and that's where we saw the fight takes place. As I said, I will be giving Suyou actual physical applications in the real world, but for now I'm not sure if his powers work outside of the astral plane. If he does, that makes him a whole nother beast. If does not, this whole video might just be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that he does. Now, in Suyou's lore, it's stated that sometimes he wields his mask and sometimes he wields his blade. Now, that lets me assume that he can fight in the physical world. Now, as I said, it's just an assumption, but with this assumption, I can get the video going. Now, how well does his abilities match? What kind of character is he in the fight? And oh boy, he is a beast, especially from the Cadia Riverlands. I was not expecting this, because before I usually had the money and Empire over the Cadia Riverlands, but recently Moton has decided to go with some OP characters in terms of lore with the Cadia Riverlands. First up we had Yin, then we have the Dragon, or we had the Dragon first, I can't remember. Then we have Suyou, and his abilities are, as I said, versatile. Now, number one on his ability list is the one he showed first, the ability to teleport to his blade, and we see he uses it in combat pretty well, constantly catching his blade and throwing it back into the fight against the evil demon Malice. Now, if you recall watching Naruto, we know how deadly that skill is, because one of the strongest characters in that series uses a blade like that. And before we even get into the abilities, let's go back on this thing that Suyou fights. He fights demon Malice, or Malice demons. which gets stronger the more havoc it causes, because people will fear it, and it draws power from fear, distress, and negative feelings, etc. Now, with such a strong demon, and he's always fighting these things, Suyou is very much up there in the ballpark of abilities and power to keep up with this thing. Now, back to the teleportation thing. With teleportation, you need to have the reaction time in combat to actually be beneficial with teleportation. Otherwise, you just teleport and you'd be too slow to react to what you're teleporting to. Suyou does not have this issue because he is great at it. Again, he is the Yellow Flash in Naruto. This character is definitely inspired by cultivation. Now, aside from teleportation in his normal form, we see he has excellent agility, a great sword slash, but really the power only ranks up when he channels the power of the Null. That's when Suyou becomes a real monster in terms of combat. That's where we want to talk. Now, with him channeling the power of the great deity Null, that's where he really starts to shine, because he has a Susanoo-like ability where the Null is protecting him. As I said, he's really based off cultivators. This is a cultivator ability 101. But anyways, he has protection passively on his upper body, and it looks like he can extend or create a longer range for basically close to mid-range to long-range combat, depending on what the situation calls for. So this lets me assume that its durability has a limit. Otherwise, he would have made that huge, gigantic Null version from the beginning, or it has some form of limitation. Now, in that fight, whatever he does, the Null spirit or covering that has like the two blades, the multiple hands, all the equipment he needs while he's fighting, whatever he does in his normal state with his normal body, that Susanoo, that almost JoJo stand-like ability of the Immortal Null is just emulating what he's doing. So it's basically a stronger version, and it obviously gives him more attack potency. Now, let's get into the feats of Suyou. Well, first up, with feats, we have to mention the most important feats when you're ranking any character: speed. Now, if you look at any fandom site where they're power scaling or ranking Mobile Legends characters, you'll know that they have most of them at supersonic. Now, reasonable, yes, but Mobile Legends have access to light magic with characters like Xavier and Mia, and most of the elves use light magic. Xavier especially is a Arbiter of Light, which is a high ranking soldier. He uses light magic and he's very versatile in it, and he shoots lasers, right? And it functions exactly like lasers. So obviously his attack speed, once large, it's light speed. Now you have characters that are comparable to Xavier's light speed, who can time it or aim dodge it, whatever the situation calls for. There are times when they can reach those speeds. So it's hard for me to imagine MLBB characters being supersonic. Now, I'm not saying all of them can, but I know for a fact Suyou is one of those that would be able to handle them. And by default, just based off the fact that Dragon is comparable to Yin and he's stronger than base Yin. You have Julian that can intercept the light beam from Xavier. You have Yin that can do it. You have Alucard who can do it. So Suyou, who is comparable to Dragon. By the way, Dragon beats Zilong handedly. So obviously Suyou being comparable to Dragon, who's comparable to Lie. You know, it's easy to get Suyou up there at light speed. Also, he looks more agile than Dragon if we're talking Yuzhong, he's more agile than Yuzhong. He's up there in terms of like just combat speed alone. Suyou's combat speed is one of the best I have seen. So easily light speed, but if you want to lowball it, you can put it at supersonic, but most ML characters are at light speed. And with a game that has time travel, you have Zas and Eve that are flying through to different planets at multiple times the speed of light. It's not rare to find ML characters going at speed of light. It's not that hard. So I'm not sure why they only have them at supersonic, but it's not that hard, especially when you have a lot of acceleration skills. So yeah, they're definitely above supersonic. Now, if you don't want to put them at light, you should at least let them comparable. Suyou is not one of those. I'll definitely put Suyou above FTL, definitely. Faster than light, definitely. Can't calculate how much, but we know for a fact that he can at least time it or intercept it. And being able to intercept light, there you go. Light is one of those things that's tricky to calculate. I am not a calcs person, so I'll stay far of that and just scale it. Off scaling alone, Suyou is up there. Next up, we have strength. Now, when it comes to striking strength, Suyou is one of the heaviest hitters in the goddamn game. We're talking way above Zilong, Yuzhong, Yin, above Basha. And yeah, while in this fight we saw the demon mobs get to a ridiculous size, and Suyou strikes him down pretty handedly in his fight against that demon. So easily up there in terms of striking strength, at least mountain level, especially in his immortal deity form. I know that he's at least mountain plus level at that point in time. Now after that we have endurance. Suyou can take a lot of punishment. We saw that in his fight. Also, he's fighting something that the more it fights and put fear into people who are in the environment, it gets stronger. Meanwhile, Suyou has to deal with that, and he's getting weaker because the fight is going on further and longer. So Suyou being able to keep that, but not only that, he's winning most of his fight, even though the beast or the demon or the spirit that he fights constantly gets stronger. Even if they have more people around where the fight is taking place, those things will get stronger. So Suyou being able to match those and win majority, he hasn't lost as yet, puts him way up there in terms of endurance and stamina. He's up there. Then we have durability. This is where Suyou shines above most characters, because durability and endurance are two different things. Let me explain. Durability is how much damage you can take before the armor is breached. So how durable is the armor before it's pierced, right? That's why you have endurance versus durability. Endurance is how much I can take after your durability has been breached, how long you can last in a fight. Durability is just how much damage you can take before it makes impact or takes damage. Right now, Suyou, we haven't seen anything break through that armor as yet, but we do know that it has a limit. Otherwise, he would have kept it on constantly. And we see that he has control over the size somewhat, so him making it smaller and harder to hit in an intense fight, obviously he cannot take a lot, but he has great durability. And when it comes to him being able to withstand what he can put out, that again puts him at durability wise at least mountain level. Now with a striking strength at mountain level and mountain level plus, obviously his durability must be high, because he's not fighting at a distance, he's fighting up close and personal. In order for him not to die from the sheer impact of force of his attacks, he has to have the durability to withstand the impact of his own attacks. So not only that, but he's also clashing with this demon malice thing that is clearly up there in terms of destructive and DC feats. So yeah, he's easily mountain level. With the immortal deity at full power, he's easy multi-mountain plus. So yeah, he's up there. Then for the next category, we have range, and my boy has some of the best range I've seen in ML history. Well, on the big screen at least, he has good range. That's why they say he's so versatile, especially the fact that we see that his strongest move seems to be a goddamn immortal bow, Susanoo arrow again. And it's pretty much a goddamn new. That thing is definitely mountain level or mountain level plus. And yeah, he has good range. He has good mid-range too with the Susanoo arms, with the Neo arms. I keep saying Susanoo, forgive me, it's Neo. Right, no, it's a goddamn Susanoo. Muta knows what it was doing. Muta knows what it was doing. After that, we have equipment. Again, he has the secret sword. That is what it's called. I've searched the wiki. It does not say the name of his blade. Now, when I first saw his sword, I was like, hey, it's Skypiercer, but it's not Skypiercer, not from what I have seen, especially in the lore. I'm pretty sure if it was Skypiercer, it would have been stated in the wiki, but it's not there. And he has the mask. Now, again, in Suyou's lore, it says sometimes he strikes with the sword, sometimes he wears a mask. So I'm guessing there's a peer, and I'm guessing that the mask have some relevance with his power. Now, in terms of intelligence, Suyou is one of the best to do it, because we have seen how he uses items and his equipment during mid-fight and fighting such a powerful opponent who has so much variety in attacks. You have to have a good IQ when fighting that. Either a nice IQ or just overwhelming power. Suyou has both. Whether that be teleporting all over the goddamn place, no matter to distance himself. Suyou has all of that. Now, I'm surprised Moton has given the Cadia Riverland so many strong characters. Honestly, before I would put the money and Empire over the Cadia Riverlands, but no, not so much, because one, you have a lot of top tiers from the Cadia Riverlands. You have Hanzo, you have Hayabusa, again you have the Oriental Fighters, and now we have Suyou. Also, Zushin probably is up there in terms of power as well, since she's a fairy girl. Now, on the tier list, Suyou would be our first S rank on the tier list. He's definitely up there among Dragon, Lie, not Yin. Yin is not up there, but Lie is. So yeah, those two are two different things. And yeah, Suyou is definitely S tier in terms of overall abilities. In terms of lore, he is S tier. Now, who would we consider S tier? Alu is a lower S tier, and if you're interested in how we come with that scaling, you can check out our first video posted on this channel. How strong is Alucard? Is he the strongest human? Yeah, you should definitely check that out. Now, while we plan to do a video on every single character in the game, yes, that includes Nana, you guys have the power to decide which character we do next by naming a character, and whoever have the most likes, yeah, we'll definitely do them next. Outside of that, we'll just do whichever other character holds our interest currently. Again, every single character will have their own videos. So thank you guys for watching. Check out our gameplays. Have fun.